15 foods to avoid if you have high blood pressure. 1. Deli meat. Processed deli and lunch meats are full of nitrites. These salts are used to preserve the meats, but they can be as high as 600 mg of sodium for one serving of meat. When you pile on your bread, cheese, a few condiments like mustard or ketchup, and then a few pickles, a simple sandwich can be deadly. Skip the deli meats. 2. Canned tomato products. 1 cup of tomato juice contains 680 mg of sodium, while 1 serving of spaghetti with meat sauce contains a whopping 1,300 mg of sodium. And 1 serving is actually a half cup of cooked pasta, not the 4 cups you typically get at your neighborhood restaurant or when you cook at home. So instead of just 1 serving, you are actually eating 8. Do the math before you eat. 3. Red meat. We've been told for some time now that red meat is not good for us because it is full of saturated or trans fats, which are bad for both the heart and blood vessels. For example, an 18 ounces ribeye has about 1140 calories, 79 grams of fat and 1,500 mg of sodium. 4. Sauerkraut. While most people think that sauerkraut is healthy, the fact is that it also has over 460 mg of sodium per 1 serving. So skip the sauerkraut. 5. Ramen noodles. College students and lazy adults live on this stuff, but these pre-packaged noodle meals are highly unhealthy for many reasons. But the salt content alone in the tiny, unassuming flavor packets is 1,580 mgs. The noodles also contain 14 grams of fat, so avoid these at all cost. 6. Alcohol. Most people enjoy a drink or two now and then, but alcohol not only causes blood pressure to rise, but it also damages the walls of the blood vessels. Just say no. 7. Bacon. Well, this shouldn't come as a big surprise. Bacon is mostly fat. 3 slices have as much as 4.5 grams of fat and close to 270 mg of salt. And when was the last time you ate just 3 slices? 8. Donuts. 1 donut can have more than 300 calories and is 42% fat and 54% carbs. Let's not forget the unhealthy saturated and trans fats that come from deep frying. These delectable treats have more trans fat than peanut butter, chocolate bars or even chips. 9. Frozen pot pies. Pot pies are a go-to comfort food, but a single serving of pot pie equals about 1,400 mg of sodium on top of the 35 grams of fat, mostly trans fats, in each pie. It is already over half of your daily recommended intake for both in just 1 serving. Pre-packaged frozen meals in general are not a good idea. 10. Whole milk. Not milk, you say. Despite the fact that milk is a good source of calcium, it is a high-fat dairy source. 1 cup of whole milk has about 8 grams of fat, 5 grams of which are saturated. Saturated fats are linked to heart disease. You can use 2% milk or, even better, 1% or skim. 11. Canned chicken noodle soup. The first thing we reach for when we feel sick is a cup of chicken noodle soup. But for people with high blood pressure, just 1 cup of canned chicken noodle soup contains as much as 760 mg of sodium. Most people eat an entire can, which is about 2.5 servings and 1,800 mg of sodium. You can always make homemade soup. 12. Pickles. Apart from the fact that pickles are typically low-fat and low-calorie, they are loaded with sodium. 3 medium pickles, about 3.75 inches long, can have about 2,355 mg of sodium. It is already more than the recommended sodium limit of 2,300 mg for an entire day. 13. Frozen pizza. We have all done it, grabbed a frozen pizza after a long day at work. It's an easy and relatively cheap dinner. But frozen pizzas also have cheese, cured meats, tomato sauce, and the crust of course. They for just one serving adds up to as much as 1,000 milligrams of sodium. And let's be honest, when was the last time you only ate one serving of pizza? 14. Chinese takeout. Some Chinese food items contain more than 2 days' worth of sodium. Even those dishes that sound fairly healthy are loaded with sodium and MSG, another sodium-based preservative. Beef with broccoli has about 3,200 milligrams of salt. Then, when you include the items that go into making the dish, like soy sauce or teriyaki sauce, they each have about 1,000 milligrams of sodium in just a single tablespoon. You are quickly in salt overload. And if you think you will just have a bowl of soup, a single bowl of hot and sour soup has as much as 7,980 milligrams of salt. 15. Baked goods. So good but so bad, they are full of sugar and sodium-rich leavening agents. And even if this is not enough to deter you, these tasty treats, like pastries, cakes, and cookies can quickly lead to obesity. They just aggravates high blood pressure, so nothing about baked goods, unfortunately, is good.